Hello, welcome to Pike Creek Farm. And it's Friday, I'm working from home, and I'm gonna make a quick crock pot meal for dinner tonight. And I'm using all the fresh veggies I have, and I'm gonna use some home canned pork, and I'm gonna make a quick vegetable soup. Something stew soup to go with dinner tonight, and I'll probably, well, not to go with dinner, but to have for dinner. So I thought I would bring you along as I put together this vegetable soup. Because I have tomatoes and cabbage, it reminds me of my mom's vegetable soup, and I always loved her vegetable soup. But I'm kind of taking a shortcut, and I'm gonna put it in the crock pot. She always started hers from beef bones, and amazing soup. So let's get together and see what I can put in the crock pot from all the fresh veggies we have in the house to make a wonderful, thick, delicious soup for dinner tonight. And it's gonna be great leftovers tomorrow too. You know, some things always taste so good the next day. The first thing I'm gonna do is empty my pork into there. And get a spoon out, sorry. I'm gonna empty the entire jar. The broth, the natural broth that comes out of the meat, and a little bit of fat that's in there, because that will help the soup actually have more flavor. So that's the first step. Now to the veggies. First, I have an onion that I got in my veggie box. So let me peel this. So I'm gonna chop one onion up. One onion chopped up, going into the crock pot. And you can put less onion if you want. I like onion and the flavor it gives. Next, I'm going to chop up this green pepper that came from our garden. A little wonky, but it'll work great for soup. So let me take care of that and get it ready. One green pepper chopped up and into the crock pot and onto the floor. Oops. Something for Missy when I let her back in the kitchen. I am going to put 2 fresh tomatoes. I'm going to core these and chop them up. Mom used to always use her home canned, and in the winter I do too. But since I have tomatoes, I want to use the fresh up. This is going to be more like a fresh garden vegetable soup. I did peel my tomatoes. That's totally optional. They came off real easy, and I prefer to not have the texture of the skin after it's cooked. I don't mind the seeds, but I don't care for like the paper, I don't know, the texture of the skin. It's a little bit, I don't mind, but anyway, the peels were coming off, so I took it off. And what I want so much from the tomatoes is all this wonderful juice. It adds so much flavor to the broth. So I'm gonna rough chop these 2 tomatoes, and I'll bring you back. Tomatoes all rough chopped. And these will cook down in the soup, and the juices come out. Okay, next I have 3 potatoes here that I'm going to scrub up, and I will peel off probably. The peel, we'll see how it, the skin, we'll see how it scrubs up. Maybe then I won't have to. So I'm gonna go scrub these up. I didn't peel them. They came pretty clean, and they're thin white skin potatoes. So I'm gonna chop these up, and not into a fine dice. I want this to be a chunky soup. Here's the last of the potatoes going in. this crock pot is filling up. So I'm gonna have to be strategic. Oh yeah, I got room though. Next is cabbage. I love cabbage and vegetable soup. So I'm not gonna use all of this. I'm probably less than half. I'm gonna chop up and put in there. I'm gonna take these outside leaves and give them to the chickens. Chickens love cabbage. I think my daughter's going to be here tomorrow, and she loves my mom's vegetable soup. So this is a little different, but it will be close enough to make her enjoy it. That she wants to know if I can can soup like Grandma's, but you can't can cabbage. I could do everything else according to the National Center for Home Preservation method for Soup Your Way, and then add cabbage when we open it up, I told her. So I'm going to chop this all up and I'll bring you back for the next thing. Here we are with the cabbage, and this will cook down a lot. Next is fresh corn. And I'm going to put it in raw because it will cook in there. Let's see how much room we have. This isn't the... Here's the corn, and I will put that in. I have some wax and green beans from our garden. Just going to trim the ends off and put a few of those in too. So I'm going to snap these and cut them up. Here are the beans I'm going to add to the crock pot. I'm going to cut up some sausage links to go in with it too. I have these in there, and I just want some of that flavor from the meat as it cooks. So if you had smoked sausage, Mom didn't do this. Like I said, this is a garden vegetable soup. It's not her traditional soup. So I'm going to chop these up. Okay, let's add some seasoning. Just got a new container at a time. It's like a half a teaspoon. I'll start with that. Sometimes I add more seasoning midway through. I do like the flavor of different spices. A teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm going to do a teaspoon of, well, half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. This one I like. It has oregano, marjoram, thyme, sweet basil, rosemary leaf, sage, and parsley. So since I already have some thyme, I'll just do a half. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. I usually just shake it till it looks right. So I'm going to do a little less than a half. Teaspoon of salt, and it was rounded. I'm trying to think if I should add more than that. We'll start with that. I can always add more salt. And the Better Than Bouillon is going to have some. I like this Dano's Original, and the lid won't come off for me. So I'm just going to shake some of that on. A tastes really good on the vegetables. What does it have? Garlic, onion, spices, sea salt. It has a spice to it though. Then I'm going to add a good spoon of the better than bouillon. And I'm going to try and shove it down so it's into the water. And the water is about 2 inches from the top when I look at it. So I'll start with that. You could use homemade broth, you could use boxed broth. I'm just using what I have on hand. So I am going to turn this on high now and let this cook the rest of the day. The lid on. I'll bring you back to see what it looks like when it's all cooked. Okay, it is done now. I did add some more sausage. I discovered I had a partial pack of country sausage. So I put that in there and I cut off the casing. I found one I just didn't. And I did add some more seasoning. Didn't add thyme, add a little more Italian seasoning, a little bit of salt and pepper. And didn't have to add anything else. No more water or anything. I've just left it on high. So I'll bring you back when we serve up dinner. Time for dinner. There it is. I don't have yet a very good angle. Let me see if there we go. Has the meat, the broth, all the vegetables. Every bite has a different blend of vegetables. I sent Natasha a picture of it, and her response was, "It'll taste even better tomorrow," because she's coming tomorrow. So here we go. Time for dinner. I hope you're enjoying your family and your dinner tonight, and hopefully this inspires you to use some of your summer produce from your garden or the farmer's market or wherever you get it from. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time at Pike Creek Farm.